I used to wake up at 4:30 every morning and not get home until about 6 o'clock at night. By the time I was home, the day was basically over. I barely got to see my daughter, barely got to enjoy my life. And the worst part, every day felt exactly the same. Same drive to work, same office, same small paycheck. I was making about $45,000 a year and still living paycheck to paycheck. I remember sitting in traffic every morning, looking into other people's cars, wishing I could trade places with them. Everyone else seemed happy. Meanwhile, I was doing everything I was told to do and still couldn't get ahead. And that's what nobody talks about. Sometimes it isn't a work ethic problem. Sometimes it's the system. We're told that a stable job equals security, but I never felt secure. I wasn't building a future. I was surviving one paycheck at a time. Then I came across UGC through a course that I'd already owned. At that point, I had already spent over $10,000 on different online business courses trying to find something that actually fit. Digital marketing, affiliate marketing, but UGC was different. For the first time, I wasn't trying to convince people to buy a course. I was creating content around products I genuinely liked. It felt real. I started doing TikTok lives with a friend, nothing fancy, no expensive setup, no influencer look. Honestly, a lot of people doubted me. They told me nobody would want to watch someone who didn't look like a traditional influencer. They told me it wasn't worth it because of the taxes. And there were plenty of moments where I almost believed them. But then brands started sending me products. Small opportunities started turning into bigger ones. And for the first time, I felt I had found something that actually worked. Today, I don't spend every month wondering how I'm going to pay my bills. I don't panic every time something goes wrong with my car. Last month, I made $20,000. But the biggest change wasn't the money. It was me. I've struggled with confidence my entire life. And somehow, at my heaviest weight, I'm happier and more confident than I've ever been. UGC didn't just change my income. It changed how I see myself. If you're stuck in that same cycle right now, doing everything right and still feeling like you're falling behind, I put together my real portfolio showing the brands I've worked with and the content I've created. Follow along for my journey.
Go ahead when you're ready, your introduction.
Okay. Yep. So I am Missy. I'm turning 30 this year. I have a soon-to-be 9-year-old daughter, Eleanor. I've been doing UGC now since about 2024, end of 2024. And really, I saw the most success in my UGC journey after meeting with Gloria in September of 2025. And honestly, the last 3 months have just been a record high for me. I never thought that I would ever see a month over 10K ever in my life and knowing that I'm doing something that I love doing and not working for a 9 to 5 for that is really fulfilling.
Absolutely, and you've worked so hard. I remember when we first met and you're just kind of getting started with UGC. You knew a little bit about it, but you're kind of getting your foot in the door with it and beginning and moving towards this journey. But for those moms who aren't even sure that UGC and content creation is their thing, like what really got you into content creation at the beginning? Like how did you discover this UGC business?
Yeah. So honestly, I started off originally doing like digital marketing, which definitely was, in my opinion, it got me desensitized to like filming myself. But what I really like about UGC is especially in the beginning, you can start talking about products that you know and love, and it feels way more authentic than say trying to sell this digital marketing course or something to other moms, because you're not asking for money from other people. You're literally just sharing your passion for a product. And I think that's the difference for me, what really got me into UGC, because I felt like when I was doing digital marketing, I felt like I was like tricking people into trying to buy an expensive course, and so it just didn't feel like authentic for me. So that's honestly, the great thing with UGC is it's so versatile that literally anybody can do it, whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. And you started more so with digital marketing and selling digital products, it sounds like. And you mentioned it compromised like your morals and it kind of felt icky. Is that what you said?
Yeah, no, definitely. Because you're trying to, like, anytime that you're making connections with other digital marketers, most of the time the intention is to try to sell them on a product that you have, and it's really cringe. And I also spent a lot of money on courses. I mean, we're talking well over 10,000 on courses, and yeah, crazy. But it got me to where I am today.
Absolutely. I mean, so you went into investing in courses, you invested in, or you started that digital product business, and they weren't kind of for you. How did you discover UGC in general, and what made you be like, yes, I'm going to go all in and just try it. I'm going to go all in and just try it.
So I had a friend that I was doing like lives on TikTok with her, and it was the first time I was like on social media talking about a product. And that's when I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I figured out, what UGC was. And I started watching other UGC creators, following influencers, etc. And really trying to figure out what exactly UGC was. And of course, in the beginning, it's signing up for like join brands, all those like platforms that are really good for getting experience, not really for making decent money, but it helps you get that experience. And that's kind of where I started, was on those platforms.
That's amazing that you started small and you grew your way up. And a lot of moms and a lot of people out there, before they start their UGC journey, first of all, yes, they're skeptical. Is this real? That's the first thing they think. And then second of all, what they're thinking is, will this actually work for me? And am I comfortable showing my face out on the internet? A lot of people think it's going to exploit their face and make them like viral and an internet sensation. A lot of people want to live a low-key life, but I have this belief that you can do both, or you could just live a low-key life being on the internet. So what is your take, and what kind of helped you kind of go over the edge when it comes to like showing your face online?
Honestly,
showing your face
I think what
online
really got me over it was seeing the potential of money. Like if you want a life where you are making decent money and you enjoy your life, and you kind of have to trade off. If you're not comfortable with showing your face, but you're miserable at your job, there's going to be some compromise there. Personally, though, in my experience, I feel like just reminding yourself that you is you, or you go viral on social media, who really cares? All that matters is that you're making your ends meet and you're happy. I think that's like been the biggest thing for me, is you really just can't. It's a scary thing having your face out on the internet, but like if you're making a decent income from it, does it really matter?
Absolutely. I like that. You put it in that way of like being a trade-off. Like, do you want to work your 9 to 5 for the rest of your life unhappy and barely make ends meet for some people? Or do you want to like take that risk, put yourself out there, see that it's really not that big of a deal and nothing's really going to happen, right? And then change your life from that. And for you, just like for context, so I can understand, like, have you been recognized? Have you had any like negative backlash for showing your face online? Like anything like that?
Some of the content that I do for some of the brands, like for example, for Cheater Buster, those videos, because they're more like rage bait type of videos, those have gone super, super viral. So yes, I have had several family members, friends, they're like, wait a minute, I see this video. And honestly, I just think it's kind of cool though, because I'm like, oh my gosh, you went on social media and you saw my face. It's just like, it's a skit. It's like, to me, it's no different than like if you watch someone on television. It's acting, And so I think that was like something to get used to. Was like people saying, oh my gosh, I saw this video. The weirdest thing for sure was I got a message from one of my daughter's friends at school, the moms, and they were like, hey, I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. And I like explained to her, no, I'm just a UGC creator. This is all, but yeah,
No, absolutely. I mean, yeah, sometimes we got to tell people, yo, we're a UGC creator. I remember my first days in my first couple years, even as a UGC creator, we have those moments where we go viral. We make such an impact with these companies and people recognize us, but it's more of a cool experience and less of something that's embarrassing or being ashamed of. When you run a business like this, you should be proud of the business that you run, that you're making an impact for people that are interested in the product that you're promoting, right? So, and then either or, you should be promoting products that you genuinely want to promote. And a lot of people think in the UGC industry they can come in, but they have to work with every single brand and compromise their morals and things. Like, how do you go about that with staying kind of true to you when you're working with brands as a creator?
So honestly, I think it's definitely like a learning curve. In the beginning, I said I was a yes man to everything. I said yes to anybody because I wanted that experience. But I have found like I like to stick with products I believe in, something that I'm passionate about. For example, I was doing content for like this Bible chat. And I personally, I'm not a really religious person, and it like warming up those accounts and just posting content in something that I didn't agree with. My content didn't perform well, and it was really draining on me being in a niche that it wasn't me, so that was, however, with that being said, like, you have to push your comfortability a little bit sometimes, to really like find your place, to find where because if you are too afraid to try anything, then you're not going to know, oh, well, I am actually really good at doing skit style content. You know what I mean? So, and I think the other thing too is just like practice, because your first videos are probably going to be pretty crappy, but you're going to get better at it.
Yeah.
What
were your first attempts like when you created UGC?
Really cringe, honestly. I was like really focused on editing. Like I was like, it needs to look like this, like really, top-notch ad. But I found that like sometimes the really heavily edited things, they don't come across as authentic. So sometimes the less editing you do, the better, depending on like what it is. But that's kind of what I focused when I first did UGC. Like, I don't know, like I had products like flying across my head with like sound effects, but it was not good.
Yeah. And obviously you've overcome that now, which we'll kind of get into in a second, but also same time, like a lot of moms are also thinking like, how on earth do you do this when you had a job that you quit, right? And then also same time you have a child to take care of. So like, how did you like overcome maybe the initial hurdles and struggles of time management maybe at the beginning? And how did you kind of navigate that as a mother?
Yeah. So in the beginning, I would just wake up at like 5 a.m. and do all my UGC stuff before I would go to my normal like 9 to 5 type of job. And then as far as like, honestly, there's so much, we're on our phone constantly anyways. And I never go on like social media, my own personal ones. I'm only ever, if I'm on my phone, I'm normally working. So that's kind of what what I changed. Instead of me, after putting my daughter down at night and watching a couple TV shows, instead of doing that, I was, watching videos on how to make UGC videos. It's just, in the beginning, it's going to be a little bit of a time commitment, but the payoff is certainly worth it. It's just finding that time in between things.
Absolutely. Finding time in between things, getting creative with your time. It seems like you kind of learned that. And then also as a mommy creator, I realized like even with your journey, pushing yourself to your max and like reaching your potential is something that this journey I saw firsthand helped you do. Explain that to someone and how like to a mother that doesn't really understand maybe where you are now and doesn't understand like how much you've grown when it comes to your creative side, when it comes to like how effective you are like working and how focused you are. Like, how has this journey actually helped you develop as a person?
Yeah, no, honestly, I feel like my confidence in myself is like I am more confident with myself now than I ever have been, which is very ironic because this is actually the heaviest I've been in my life. So you would think that like by me being heavier, that would make me more self-conscious. But I feel like it's so like finding my place in UGC has like, I feel like it's helped me grow into who I am as a person. And I mean, to just be able to create content for brands and go viral for brands. And it sounds like it's impossible when you realize that it all comes down to strategy, that you can literally replicate any viral video and go viral with it yourself if you replicate it correctly. Then it's like the sky is the limit, you know? And I think that's what's been like the most liberating, as far as you want and be as creative as you want, and just, you know, as long as you're following what's already a proven format.
Absolutely. And once you put the proven formats in place, like you said, the sky's the limit and you can go anywhere, and it's up to you and your performance to make that happen, to reach these income goals. And with that being said, like, walk us through, like, for the people that don't know, walk them through like how we kind of met each other, what piece of content or what kind of content kind of reeled you in that you kind of saw and you kind of met me for the first time, that kind of led you to meeting me for the first time.
I was I was on social media a lot, and I remember I saw something it was on Facebook. And so when I first started UGC, it was a lot about her. And one of the videos that I saw of yours that really made a difference for me was, it wasn't about, you know, here you weren't just giving, here's 500 brand emails that everybody has, you know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever seen that, but inbox anyways. But seeing your video, I remember you were talking about like having your systems in place, and you were really treating it as if this were a business and not just some side hustle out of me. Or yes, UGC World on school. And I remember just going through your videos and how you pitch brands. I mean, I was using literally something that I just created in ChatGPT. So seeing how you really broke it down, like step by step, it really made it feel more achievable. And I think the difference though for me was you were looking at it as a business though, and not just some aesthetic little side hustle that you can make some extra money.
I always say, like, I'm the least aesthetic person. You know, I am in the ideal demographic personally, where it is like more of women that are my age and look like me are in this industry, but I was unaesthetic, and that was my mission. And I'm super glad that it kind of appealed to you, and now you're here, which is amazing. And once you learn like the first kind of things that I put in place for my business, and I taught you through the school group how you could do it as well, like what was the first thing that you applied, or how did you apply these strategies to actually grow as a creator?
Yeah, so first, and I haven't been doing it as much because I've been busy with the brands that I've been working with, but the pitching system, having Lemlist set up, just all of that, having someone literally walk you through exactly how to set up your pitching systems, how to correctly script a video, how to make a winning ad. Just having someone that's already gone viral, who already knows what they're doing, that gave me that confidence to do it on my own. And honestly, I think too, the community was the biggest advantage for me. And I normally don't take advantage of communities because I'm more of like, I'm not like, you're not going to find me like constantly in a group chat texting everybody, you know, but to be able to fall back on the community and it's the networking within. I mean, so many opportunities that I've found just because I joined your community, you know, and that to me is like priceless.
And I'm so glad that you used it to your advantage, because I always tell people, hey, I'll meet you 50%. You got to meet me 50%. However you do it, meet me 50%. And I'm so glad that you did, because now you're here. And that's amazing. So with that being said, like for the creators who don't know, like what kind of collabs are you working on with our agency opportunities, and also same time ones that you've collected through the systems you put together for your business inside of the academy and agency?
Yeah. So the current brand, that I'm working with now that I met through the agency, or so the biggest. So right now, Cloud9. I've been working with Cloud9 since. Gosh, I think we started in October, I think it was October, November, and love creating content for Cloud9. And now most recently we're starting with Poppy AI and Vertus AI. And I know, and then outside of the academy, I've been working with Cheater Buster. I have a lot of different collabs within the SideShift inner circle. But before I had met you guys, I didn't even know what SideShift was. And so, yeah, and I'm also, this is my first time being a campaign lead with you guys. And it's exciting because I like analyzing the content, and it's nice having that like leadership role. And I'm just happy for these opportunities. Honestly, I feel like some days like I want to just pinch myself because I'm like, am I living a dream? Like I really don't have to go to my 9 to 5 that I hate, you know?
Absolutely. And I mean, hard work pays off. I always say what you reap is what you sow, and what you sow is what you reap. And you put in that hard work, you started, and we kind of skipped over that part where like the trials and tribulations that you went through, you know, at the beginning of meeting each other and going all in on yourself and taking that step inside the program. I'm sure there was trials and tribulations that you went through to actually get to this point where you're landing so many deals with the agency, so many deals outside with your own network, and that you built in the program. So what were some of maybe the trials and tribulations you went through on like a personal level maybe, or even inside like your business that you overcame in the long run?
Yeah. So honestly, a lot of them I'm still overcoming. So the first thing first is I definitely need a VA now, editor. So I'm thankful for your framework, and that I'm like slowly working through that. Today's been a heavy filming day, but yeah, honestly, it's just, I think the hardest part is sometimes you're just like going through the mundane tasks of everything. And then you like sit down for a moment and realize, oh my gosh, like I need to like set up, like I'm coming to a point where I'm realizing I'm spending too much time on like the tedious tasks. And I want to grow more. So in order for me to grow more, I need to take some things off my plate. But as far as like previous, like, I think one of the hardest things for me that I've had to overcome is saying yes to everything, and the fear of, oh no, you know, what if I, you know, if I try to get a higher number out of them and they say no, they don't want to work with me, you know. But like overcoming that and just like knowing my worth, you know, and negotiating that for me is something too that I am continually working with. But I think having like knowing that I can do it, and knowing that I have the resources it helps me, if that makes sense, be able to turn down those jobs that, you know, are not the best.
Absolutely. And stick with your morals and stick what's true to you. If something doesn't work for you, by all means, deny them. By all means, don't work with them, because it's just going to drain you and it's going to put you in a place where you don't want to be, right? And that's the part of UGC. You have to be authentic on camera. And if you're working with something that you're just like not drawn to, don't do it.
Yep.
Yeah, it shows up on camera. So you've gotten team lead positions inside the agency, and then you're killing it with Cloud9 Clothing and so many more campaigns you're getting started with. Like, how has your journey so far been working inside of our agency and working on collabs with the agency?
Yeah, no, awesome. It's honestly the CPM deals are, you know, because I think some people, you see, oh, okay, the retainer is 300 for say like 30 posts, but having that CPM is totally game changer. Personally, I mean, I have made way more with doing Cloud9 than I even thought was even possible with having that CPM. So it's been a really great experience, honestly. I feel like I'm trying to find my words, because you're rewarded on your content going viral. So it makes you want to create really good content, because your money directly is related on what you're putting out there. And so I feel like it's made me like a stronger creator, because you're not putting out it's not just a video to fill. You're not just putting out a video for a brand. You're putting out a video, but if it performs really well, you're getting compensated pretty well for that video,
Yeah, you're directly incentivized to perform and make sure every single video performs. And if the last one doesn't perform, you're incentivized like naturally to look at it, figure out why. And that's why your performance is so high. A lot of people jumping in the UGC industry, they're like, no, I want the traditional collabs, $100, $200, $500, $1,000 per month collabs. And I'm like, okay, you got to work your way up. That's possible. You got to work your way up. But a lot of people like second guess CPM and they cower away from CPM. They're like, $10 a video base with like $1, $2, $3, cost per mil, right?
And I feel like, so for anyone who's like leery of it, I feel like if you can see though that people are consistently going viral with the formats that you will be doing within that brief, I feel like it's a no-brainer. I can understand where if it's like a dry topic where content really doesn't go viral, I would be a little leery to do a CPM, I think, for that. But if, for example, with Cloud9, I mean, we have so many frameworks that consistently go viral. It's yeah.
Yeah. It's all there. And what kind of helped you make that first decision for yourself to just try a CPM? Because a lot of people, like I said, they're very on the edge with CPM. They don't think it's worth it. Like, what helped you understand that, hey, it's worth it, and hey, it's going to change my life,
So honestly, I think once you realize, like the second you get like one viral video and you realize, okay, I can take a brief, apply what they're telling me and make a viral video, then it's like, okay, no, the sky's the limit. You're not going to do those, little deals here and there, having the CPM, then going forward, it's like, it's a no-brainer. Now I don't want to do videos where I'm just getting a flat fee. I want to be paid on the performance of it. And so I think it's just making sure, though, that you have the framework to actually go viral is like the important thing in doing CPMs.
Absolutely. And once you have those framework, right, it's like the sky is the limit. And now you're looking at all of the other deals like, hey, it's not worth it to me. And at the beginning, I suppose, like your first CPM deals could have been pretty rocky. Like my first CPM deals are pretty rocky. I hear it all the time because you're a beginner, you don't know much. But how did you get through that like rocky phase yourself at the first time and turn it into, besides the frameworks, and turn it into more of like successful campaigns where you're generating thousands of dollars from brands in a single month?
Honestly, I think it really just comes down to taking that time and making sure that your video, like, for example, I always play back my video before I post it. And I'm like, okay, does it get the point? Like, would I want to watch this? Would I watch this? And making sure, just really it comes down to being comfortable with the videos. You need to be able to trust that what you're putting out there is good. And if you know that what you're putting out there is good and someone else would think it's good, then it's like, you know what I mean? But like, if you're like putting out content, you're like, this isn't that great, it's probably not going to perform well, So you gotta, it's exactly like the effort that you're putting in. And if you really double down and, because when my videos don't work, I look at my video and especially if I copy something from someone that it did work and mine didn't, I want to analyze, okay, what did they do differently? And sometimes you might miss a pause or something, or you miss something that looked minute, but it actually is what helped make that video go viral. And also I've just found too, like, I think, so I try to, like, if I know a video should have gone viral and it didn't, a lot of times I go through the comments and see like if anyone said anything. And then most of the time though, if I go back, I re-edit a small bit and I change the text hook, it's like the difference sometimes between a video getting like 30,000 views versus like 400,000 views. So I think really like testing your videos, if you do a really good video, like like on a date skit, I will post those. Generally, it's twice with 2 different cuts because I'm trying to, like I'll start the second video like at the end, like that end scene where it's like a really dramatic moment. So it's like a different hook in that video. And so I think just really testing out your content, seeing what's going to work is what's helped me the most, not just filming, 3 different skits and hoping it works, because there's so many things can affect whether or not your video goes viral, and the editing, the on-screen text hook are huge.
Absolutely. There's so many factors that you can put into it. And the more that you get familiar with creating and putting these factors into play, the more that you're going to grow as a creator, generate more views, and obviously make more money from each collab. And a lot of people, when they first start CPM, they have like mindset issues of like, this isn't working. I got 200 views here. They're stuck in that 200 view jail, and they don't think it's even worth it for them. They don't see kind of above, and they don't see like where they could be. Like, what mindset help would you tell that person who's kind of stuck in that mindset trap?
So honestly, I think what's really helped me is like when I'm reading a brief and I'm like creating my content, I tell myself I'm going viral. I got this. I know exactly how to sell this. You know what I mean? Especially because when you're warming up your accounts, and that's the one thing, like, I think that is the most important thing when you're doing these CPM deals, is making sure that you follow what they're telling you when you warm up your accounts, because that's the difference between you going viral and not. I mean, literally, it's crazy. You a lot of time, and I get it, because I have to admit, it's my least favorite part of taking on a new CPM deal is doing the warm up. But honestly, it's a huge difference in how well your videos perform. And I think just looking at, okay, if you're getting 200 views, let's look at why your videos are getting 200 views. Is your lighting different? Than a lot of times bad lighting, like, I don't know about you, but I just scroll past. I do not like bad lighting videos. And so like, if you're getting 200 views, I think don't look at it as a woe is me. Look at it as what can I do differently? And have that mentality that you got this, this product, you're going to go viral. You're going to get that CPM, it's all about how you're thinking about it.
Absolutely. Because it starts in the mind, right? And it manifests externally. So your current environment and how you're doing with UGC, it all starts in the mind, right? It all starts with the way that you operate, you think, right? And then you act after you think, and then it bleeds into your reality, and it starts showing up in your reality. And it looks like from your success, right? You've really, really thought about how you're going to improve after every video, which is like every video just making micro improvement. So 30 videos later, you're that much better, right? That's the mentality, and that's the mental framework we need to actually succeed with CPM. Yes, your first month might be rocky, but continuing after your first month, you're gonna see some progress. Boom, you hit a bonus. Boom, you hit something else. Boom, you were the highest viewed creator 3 months later from this brand, just by continuing to go all in on this company. And make sure, you said something very important, Missy, make sure you're working with companies that you align with. Don't work with companies like that you don't align with, you're not familiar with, you don't really resonate with the product. Like, that's going to show up in your content, and it's going to show up in maybe the natural laziness that comes through when you're filming content for brands like this. You have the complete choice, and that's why we're entrepreneurs. So we have the freedom and we have the choice to work with anybody we want to as a creator.
The difference is working for brands that you truly believe in and you want to work for, because it's when you don't like the brand that you're working for, it is such a chore, and it's hard to like face, like what you, it's hard to fake that you like a product, and I mean, sure, we've all had videos where like we've like talked about a product that like we're never going to use, but like I'm really trying to now work with brands that I genuinely want to work with, and that I just find, fun. Because to me, I'm like, yes, this is my business, but I also want to enjoy what I'm doing.
Absolutely. You want to enjoy what you're doing, and that's why we're doing this in the first place, because we didn't enjoy our job. We didn't enjoy anything like that. So, I mean, you've grown so much from the very beginning, Missy. I'm super curious, when you first joined, right, the UGC industry, or we met and you joined the program and you're going all in on yourself, like, what was your initial goal back then?
I think my initial goal was like to hit 5 or 7K months or something like that. I remember, I think I said 10K, but I was like, well, I didn't want to like reach for the stars, but, and I think I remember you saying like, that's attainable, but yeah, no, now I'm like, let's go 20K, let's go 30, I'm like, let's I want to just keep scaling.
Absolutely. And you started from having that mindset of, hey, let's just hit 5K or 7K. Like, that's all I want. And obviously you hit it. And fill everybody in on where you are right now, like on average per month right now.
Yeah. So the last month it was like around like 14. And this month, for the end of May, I'm looking at, which I won't get it until June, but around like 15,000. So wow. It's consistently going up.
It's going up because your skill set is going up. Simple.
Yep.
Yeah. The more that you create, the better you get, and the more that you will make from this. And when did you actually start like in the program? Like how long were you inside of like the UGC World program and community?
So I want to say I joined the community like it was probably August is when I joined the like the world community. And then honestly, it was probably when I joined the academy. I know I went through the modules. I went through it pretty fast because I was just like, let's go, you know? But I honestly, like, I feel like, basically January is when I've consistently been over 10, or not January, I don't know.
Yeah, you've grown so much over this past like period of like, what, maybe 9-ish months working together, something like that. And you've hit these milestones over and over again, and you're at your first like $15,000 month. Last month was just short of 15K, which is freaking amazing. Like how does it feel as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a creative to be in this spot in your life? Because just last year, you're working a job. Like how does that feel?
No, literally, I have several screenshots on my phone of when my bank account was like in negatives, like negative 300, like, and so it's so crazy now to actually have money in savings, and to just like, I don't know, like, I think like one of the harder things as being a mom is, you know, knowing that your daughter needs something or they really want something, and it's like, I literally can't afford it. And so that shift of like, and now I got to be careful not to spoil her, but that shift of not being able to afford it and feeling like a failure has completely shifted. And I think, like, honestly, my entire life, I always thought that I wouldn't be successful because I like wasn't smart enough to be a doctor, a lawyer. I didn't want to go to school for all these years and spend all this money. And so it was something I always struggled with because I was like, well, if I'm not going to be a lawyer or a doctor, will I ever be able to own my own home? Will I ever be successful? And I think this industry, like, honestly, this is literally changing people's lives. And there are people who are in their early 20s who are making more than some doctors because they're doing UGC, you know? And so I feel like as a mom, this is a perfect job, because you can do it around your kids' nap schedules, you know, and I don't know. I know so many other moms in this industry that have quit their full-time jobs that are exclusively just doing this from home, and they're way happier.
Absolutely. And now you're making like a doctor salary from your home, and without going to school or without being smart enough to be a doctor, you're making that salary anyway by doing something that you actually enjoy.
Exactly. Yes. And that's the best part, is it like having a job that doesn't feel like a job, you know? That's literally like, you couldn't ask for more in life.
Absolutely. And that's absolutely the best feeling as well. And for you, like, what's changed? You mentioned that you're getting to spoil your daughter a little bit and do things that you weren't able to do. I know you're going through some big changes when it comes to like where you're located and everything like that. Like, fill everybody in, like, what's changing in your life right now from this like huge change of income?
So one of the biggest things is, so right now we're living in Maryland, and it's super not affordable here, by the way. If anyone's like considering Maryland, don't. So we are moving to Florida at the end of the summer. It's still kind of iffy on the date, but we're moving to like near Tampa area. And so that would not have been possible at all if I was working my normal 9 to 5. I just did not make that enough money. I make enough now to where I could live on my own if I wanted to. So Yeah. And exactly what Chris just said. It doesn't matter. You can literally live anywhere because you're working remotely. So you're not tied down to anything. So that's been incredible, honestly, I can't wait to move to Florida.
Yeah, it's like a dream come true when you unlock this it's not even just financial freedom, it's location freedom with the finances. I don't gotta clock into my job in Maryland, right? I don't gotta do this or that. I'm obligated to be nowhere. Like I'm in freaking like Mexico right now, only because like we can do whatever we want to as creators, and that freedom is so liberating. It's yeah. With Wi-Fi, go somewhere with Wi-Fi, please. But yes, but yeah, that's so cool. I'm super curious. Like, just come to mind. What was your favorite collab so far that you've had?
So I think honestly, it's probably a cross between like Cheater Buster and Cloud9. Cheater Buster because I've always wanted. What kid does not have the dream to be an actress, right? And so to do like the skit style content is so much fun. I honestly, anybody who anyone who's dramatic, I highly recommend that. It's a lot of fun. And then Cloud9, because I genuinely enjoy wearing my hoodies. I have like 7 hoodies now, I think. And my daughter has 2, my sister now has some, my boyfriend does, and I got one for my mom. And I love the product itself. It's really helpful. I get really bad car anxiety, so I love being able to squeeze my stress ball in the car. But also with Cloud9, doing the skit style content that we're doing for Cheater Buster, it's just kind of cool, like being able to apply certain frameworks from other campaigns, but that's been fun.
Absolutely, and that's awesome. And just so someone can understand the perspective of a CPM, like you're making like 15K a month right now. On average, like how many CPM like brands are you working with? And on average, like considering how far you've grown and like the trials and tribulations you've gone through to get here, how much are you making per brand, like on average per month? So someone can understand CPM.
Yeah, so of course you have like certain CPMs. Like I've had like some where I haven't actually made any CPM. Most recently, I was doing one in like a health niche, and the content just it wasn't really resonating with anyway. So I didn't have like a large CPM from that. But generally, I get at least 1,000 to 2,000, normally more, just based off of the CPM. And then, of course, normally you have the base rate for your videos. Normally it's anywhere normally between like 300 to 1,000. And then of course your CPM. And then also I think something that's like a little underrated is content monetization. Because especially like with Facebook, I've been cross posting for campaigns from Instagram to Facebook. And within 3 months I monetized Facebook, and like literally I have $1,700 coming to me for content that I literally just posted what I was supposed to do for a brand. So I think it's things like that as well. TikTok, their monetization is great if you're posting videos over a minute. I mean, it's kind of like a no-brainer. Why not get paid from the platform and a brand,
Absolutely. That's literally genius, especially when you're like going viral over and over again and you cracked it for certain brands. Monetize that B. It's like being a popular, like super, super famous influencer, monetizing and make a bag from the platform. You can do the same thing as a UGC creator without being an influencer. That's genius. Wow. I like that. And with that being said, Missy, like, what's next for you? Like, you're at 15K a month, you're rocking it in, right? You've changed your life. Like, what's next for you? Because I know this isn't the end.
Yes. So next is VA. My plan is to have on Monday to have the job posted on that website. I'm working through that on the weekend. And really my plan is to just continue what I'm doing, working for the brands. I would really like to also like create content on my actual UGC Missy account as well. Just because I like doing talking heads and I like helping others. And I would love to just really honestly help, if I can help anyone get from, where I was to where, like it's just the sky is endless. Like the sky is the limit with UGC. And I want to invest more time into that. But I just have to get all, like, I think it's like, when you're a hairdresser, you don't really have time to do your hair. You're doing all your clients' hair. So I need to focus on my clients' accounts first and then be able to scale my own, UGC.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense. And what's your next milestone or goal that you're looking to hit?
I would say I mean, 20. Yeah. I like doing incremental goals. So yes, 20 is my next goal.
Yeah, 20, but you never know.
Yes, I will take more.
Absolutely. So that's freaking amazing. You've grown so much and you've dropped a lot of sauce on this podcast as well. Anyone listening should be taking notes. And with that being said, like, in this transformation that you went through from being in debt and working a 9-to-5 job, just starting your UGC business when we first met, and then getting to this point where you're racking in, right, $15K a month, which is amazing. How important was having mentorship in this transformation you had?
Oh, absolutely. Because like you said, mindset's everything. And if you don't have the confidence in yourself, it's going to be really hard to create really great content. You need direction, and what better, like, I think the hardest thing is, yes, we have the internet and there's so much information on there, but that's like also a downside. There is so much information, and to have a mentor who knows what you're going through and who's been where you're at and has seen success, it's a no-brainer. Then I would rather learn from somebody who knows what they're talking about than go search YouTube and you're saving yourself hours of trial and error.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad it benefited you, and it's helped you so much, and that's why I do this myself. And with that being said, would you recommend others to invest in their self in the same way that you kind of did to hit these milestones?
Absolutely, because honestly, it's an investment in yourself, in your business, but you're going to see that return. And like, I think you have to really ask yourself, what, if you really want it this bad, you want to lead your 9-to-5, you want the success, you have to ask yourself, are you willing to do you want to do that all on your own and struggle, or do you want to be able to do it and know that you're doing it the right way and saving yourself time because you're learning from somebody who already did it? I think is the question you have to ask yourself. But honestly, I know I made back my investment, like, I feel like the next month. So it was like, it's a no-brainer.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for the kind words as well. And final question here, like, last piece of advice for maybe the mom that's skeptical, the mom that doesn't know if UGC is her thing, the mom that's skeptical of CPM or just like starting this and mindset struggles. Like, what would you tell that person, maybe the same person you were like 18 months ago or like even a year ago, right? What would you tell them, last piece of advice, to go after it and hit their goals?
Honestly, I would just tell them, literally, just go, just do it. Don't let that little voice in your head nope, don't listen to her. She needs to, the more you stop listening to her, she's going to stop and she's going to realize that she can't control you anymore. And just honestly, you got to just take the step. You got to keep doing it. Wake up every day and keep doing it. And you have to just keep telling yourself, I'm doing this to better myself. And it might not look pretty right now. I might look like I'm embarrassing myself, but one day it's going to pay off. And I think that's just, yeah.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. And Missy, where can people connect with you on social media?
UGC.Missy, I believe. It's UGC.Missy on Instagram. Yes.
Awesome. All right, cool.